From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, you probably check in with Weather NorCal mainly for the weather, but did you know you can also check in on Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals? It's updated once a week with a new animal. We hang out with Sharon Clay and learn about the animals out there. And there is also a NorCal Ag Report. You know, agriculture is a big and important industry here in Northern California, and we learn all about it. We talk to ranchers, farmers, people who own the different farms. It's great stuff. So go to weathernorcal.com. You can go to Animal Family for the Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals segment. You can also go to the Ag Report, and you'll find it there as well. And by the way, you can also access those from the free Weather NorCal app. If you don't have it already, just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, and download the app today, and you can watch the latest forecasts, Wonderful World of Animals, the Ag Report, Pet of the Week. It's all there. All right, we have a heat wave. It peaks tomorrow and Wednesday. Now, we're looking at mainly sunny skies and not to mention dry conditions. You know, it's been pretty active over the mountains this past weekend. That's changing, and I do expect to see drier conditions this week. Not as hot near the end of the week, though, and in fact, more pleasant weather for your Father's Day weekend. We'll touch that here in just a second, but take a look at your neighborhood forecast for tomorrow. Oh man, we're back up to over 105 degrees for some of us in the valley, back up to mainly 90s for the higher elevations in the coast. Well, of course, no big surprises there in the low 60s. Now notice the winds. Tomorrow morning, yeah, they're not really a big concern. We can go into tomorrow afternoon though, yeah, they're picking up 20 to over 30 miles per hour in the valley, gusty winds along the coast as well. That's going to increase that fire danger. Now going into Wednesday, kind of interesting, we still have some gusty winds for the valley Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, the wind should start to subside. Now, with these winds going up and down, that's also impacting our fire weather risk. So going into tomorrow, yes, the higher winds, the higher temperatures, and not to mention the low humidity, we are well within that high to even very high category. We're in that transition between orange and red, and we're certainly seeing that here for many of us in the valley. But again, the good news is, as the winds die down Wednesday afternoon, temperature's still hot, still very dry, but with the weaker winds, that decreases our fire danger, but still in that moderate to high range. Now, talking about the heat, there is an excessive heat warning issued by the National Weather Service for tomorrow morning through Wednesday evening. Highs between 95 and 107. Of course, the 95, mainly those higher elevations, right? But upwards of 106, 107 degrees, not out of the question. And that, of course, will be in the valley. And again, that's for tomorrow morning through Wednesday evening with those overnight lows, upper 60s to even mid 70s. Struggling to get out of the 70s here the next few mornings for the valley. And that's the reason why we do have the major heat risk for tomorrow. Now, what that essentially means is, doesn't matter how healthy you are, anyone who's not properly hydrated or staying cool properly could be looking at a dangerous situation. Health issues could certainly be a problem here. Now, we'd look at the National Weather Service heat risk for your Wednesday. We're starting to see less of that red, more in that moderate range, so mainly just for people that are sensitive to the heat. But look at this. By Thursday, we are in that minor to moderate category. By Friday, mainly within that minor category. And take a look at this upcoming Saturday. We are in the little to none to minor category. So temperatures are getting much closer to normal for this time of the year by this upcoming weekend. So yes, it peaks. This heat right here is expanding northward into our region. As a result, our temperatures are increasing for your Tuesday and Wednesday. Now you see this right here. This is an area of low pressure. It's not as hot as the bubble of heat to the east and west of it, okay? So this is where it's kind of helping to break down that ridge a little bit, but what's also breaking it down are these storm systems riding to our north. That cooler air is suppressing the heat, so again, it could be a lot hotter if we didn't have these storms riding to our north, and especially by this weekend when it starts to shift more to the south, that cooler air moving in closer, our temperatures start to drop. And check this out, a nice pocket of cooler air really beginning to kind of filter through, even making its way to Northern California by the end of this upcoming weekend and early next week. We could possibly even see temperatures drop below normal for this time of the year as we go into early next week. Now, wouldn't that be nice? But we take a look at the trend here. Yeah, we're over 100 degrees here, over 105 degrees for the Redding area. That's the peak tomorrow and Wednesday. We see a drop in the temperatures Thursday, Friday, another drop going into Saturday, Sunday, another drop into early next week. And as remember I was mentioning, we could possibly drop below normal for this time of the year by early next week. The normal high is 90. We could drop down to 89. We're talking 80s possibly by the beginning of next week. Fantastic, right? And it's the same trend for the mountains. We're kind of peaking around Tuesday, Wednesday, although maybe another spike on Thursday before we see that bigger dip going into the weekend and early next week. Now the coast, right? You got it, you know it, right? Temperatures in the low 60s for your daytime highs. That's pretty normal for this time of the year. Now, talk about rainfall, I don't see any, at least anytime soon. Maybe by Monday of next week, we could see a chance for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms for the mountains. That's with that cooler air moving in. And then by Tuesday of next week, that will shift eastward and we should dry things out again. But again, we're seeing that trough of low pressure pool down to the south. And as a result, that helps to destabilize the atmosphere a little bit and maybe give us a chance for a few showers. And again, that's mainly in the mountains. But tomorrow, the wave heights may actually increase a little bit. But the small crash advisory that we do have here for tonight, this evening into early tomorrow morning, should be allowed to expire tomorrow afternoon. But of course, we'll keep you updated with that tomorrow morning in not only Coffee with Kruger, but also starting at 7 o'clock, but also my regular update that updates at 6 o'clock in the morning. Have the update on that and that small correct advisory. Otherwise, looking at those winds from the north at about 10 to 15 knots. All right, so for tonight, as mentioned, I think many of us in the valley will struggle to get out of the 70s. So that's going to make for a warm start to the day. I mean, even in the mountains, you're talking about temperatures in the 50s. So when we look at our highs for tomorrow, well, here's a look at Trinity County. We're mainly in the 90s, not quite the triple digits, although I think some of us could see the triple digits here in the next couple of days in Trinity County. Otherwise, for southern Humboldt County, central and southern Humboldt County, for your North Coast neighborhood forecast, there are those low 60s for the next 7 days. Now for the inland areas, again, you are seeing temperatures mainly upper 80s, maybe some low 90s in there. And the temperatures dropping even more by this upcoming weekend. Let's take you out to Siskiyou County, about 90, although some of those higher elevations to the north and east will mainly be looking at those temperatures in the mid 80s. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, about 90 degrees, give or take. 90 degrees for El Tourist, 91 for Eagleville, and Cedarville, about 88 degrees. Now notice too, in the 7-day forecast, we're not seeing any showers or thunderstorms. However, and I should probably include that in there, but by Monday of next week, we could be looking at the potential for maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm for some of the higher elevations. There's a look at your valley neighborhood forecast to the south. This is brought to you by NorCal Tractor. I mean, yeah, those temperatures, well over 100 degrees. It's back. The heat is back. 106 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake and Redding and Anderson, Red Bluff, Cottonwood, 106 for Palo Cedro, 103 in Lakehead. So looking at your 7-day outlook for Redding, these temperatures are dropping. It's going to be kind of just a small step each time, right? Thursday, Friday, we're down to the upper 90s. Saturday, Sunday, low 90s, and possibly some upper 80s by next Monday.
Everywhere I go, I'm riding with pride. I'm riding on my go-go. Watch me glide. Everywhere I go, I'm getting around. I'm riding on my go-go. All over town, I'm riding in style and feeling so right. It's easy to take and it's all so light. Everywhere I go, I'm riding on my go-go.
Everything Medical, your mobility experts.